In this video, I'm going to show you how to AI automate 95% of a newsletter to really, really good quality. We're going to grab the latest piece of news or article for your niche. We're going to run it through everything. We're going to create a one-liner assistant. We're going to create an overview. You're going to be able to review it in this table, open it up, see the URL from the article, see what it's about, see if you want to include this topic or not in your email. You can then approve it or deny it. Do you not want it? Do you want it? Once that's done, it then runs through this really cool automation that will create bullet points. It will create key takeaways. It will create a TLDR. It will create everything we want. I based this automation due to a request on the rundown. People love the rundown. I said this is exactly how you create something similar to this, and then the output at the end of it would look something like this, where you get a nice little header that summarizes everything. You get an AI generated image that we're going to use in Build in Midjourney. You're going to get a TLDR of what this is in just a couple of sentences, and then you're going to get 4 bullet points that explain each part of the article, and finally, why this matters. And this will automate, guys, 95% of the entire process for you. And as always, guys, all the prompts, the blueprints, the trainings, the additional support, it's all available down here in my Skool community. We can access absolutely everything with all the uploads, which basically means if you just wanted to upload this automation, you'd come here, you'd come down, you'd click import blueprint, you'd choose the file, you'd select it, you'd save, you'd increase it, and you'd also get access to all the agents that we're going to cover in this video, the overview, the one-liner, the bullet point agent. I mean, I could go on. There's a couple we're going to be using in this video, and you get access to all that stuff, plus support in the community down below. So come down, say hello. We'd love to have you. But in any case, we're going to jump in. I'm going to show you exactly how to build this automation out step by step so you can automate most of your AI newsletter and do it to great quality. So if you haven't already, grab that coffee, and let's jump straight in. And if you're new here, my name is Jack, and this YouTube channel and my community is all about the latest AI. It's about incredible automations, and most importantly, it's about the stuff that actually works. So to kick this video off, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run you through it end to end to show you how it works in practice. Then I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need for this automation, and then we're gonna build it together step by step. Okay, so this video starts off with an RSS feed. Now, when I've thought about how we automate a newsletter, one of my top thoughts was, we don't just automate for the sake of automating. It needs to be good quality, has to be great quality. And if we're doing a newsletter, if it's news focused, it needs to be relevant, it needs to be top of mind. That's why I've built an approval system, and that's why I'm auto scraping the internet for information. So for example, we start over here in RSS feeds. For the example of this, I've pulled from an AI news thing, right? We're gonna do AI news, we're an AI channel, I'm gonna show you an example of AI news. And basically I've just said, look, pull these articles from this website here. Just pull it from this particular website. Again, I'll show you all the configurations. The opportunities are literally endless with this stuff. It could be tweets, it could be anything you want. So this is going to pull a record for the latest article on that particular topic. So look, I'll click on this. I'm going to say pull down to, awesome. And then I'm going to run this automation. Okay, so this is part 2. I'm going to come over here to part 1. I'm going to click on my RSS guy. I'm going to click on, let's just say we want to get 5 options, okay? Then we'll click OK. Then we click run. And bear in mind, guys, this is going to be running in the background automatically. The news pops up, we add our filters to see what we want, and then this just keeps running and running and running and running in the background. So what happens? The RSS grabs our particular article, all the things. We convert that to a file. Then we convert that from the HTML to text so we can understand it. Then what happens here is that this GPT agent is going to take all that information and say, look, just explain it to me in one single line. And then the overview agent is going to say, cool, well, I've got all this information. What's it really about, right? What's the key summary? What's the key things we need to know? And then we add it to the Airtable. So if I come to my Airtable, and you see here, for example, let me delete this one. Let's get it nice and pretty. We come down and we can literally increase the size. It's look, Palantir's AI conference sparks debate. Okay, that's interesting. What's it about? Article summary, I'm a new Oppenheimer, my soul-destroying day at Palantir's first ever AI Warfare Council. So we can look through this. It gives us key developments and insights, impacts and significance. This is just for your benefits. And bear in mind, guys, you didn't touch anything. This just happens for you. The purpose of this, okay, is to basically just give you context about whether or not you want to include it in your article. I didn't want to set this up in a way that just fired stuff. So you're actually going to review this and think, let's see what I think. AI Warfare and Deception, Palantir's AI Conference. Do you know what? Let's say I like the sound of that. And I say, do you know what? I want to add that to the newsletter. Boom. Then what happens? We come to the second part of the automation. We click on this guy, we click OK, and then we're going to run this whole thing once. Cool, so this is then grab that record for what we just created. So look, I click on +1, It's got two here. You see AI Warfare and Deception Key Insights and Palantir's Conference Box Debate. But the only one that's going to come through is this one, because that's the one I selected, add to newsletter. So it's got an approval filter, right? Bullet points. We're creating key bullet points for this, guys, which is essentially, I built this in the style of this. So if you look at what these guys do, they have a short summary at the top, they have an image, they have a summarize this in a sentence, and then they have like here's 4 bits of detail to explain what it's about, and then we've got a why it matters or a so what. So I've used this as an example. Obviously do your own style. I just want to show you the kind of thing that's possible here. I come back over to automation, right? We've built the bullet points, we've got the key takeaway, we've got the too long didn't read bar, we've got the title created, and then this guy here is creating a specific prompt for us to use in Midjourney. Now, you might have seen I've done videos on how to automate the Midjourney, but for the purposes of this video, to keep it simple, I'm just gonna have it create a prompt that we can just enter into Midjourney and bring the image back for us. And as I'll show you later, this Midjourney prompt works like a charm. It covers things like the subject, the action, the setting, the additional details, and I've coded it and developed this prompt in such a way that you'll get consistent results. It's gonna be the same style that really looks like a genuine, you know, an actual photo that's taken by a human being and not one of those wild, wacky, like obviously AI things. So we've entered that into Midjourney. Let's go grab that image now. And as you can see, guys, if I come over here, now I've just added a little bit of formatting to make it easy to read, but this is essentially everything you get. You get the title here, you get the description for the Midjourney image, you get the TLDR, just in a couple of sentences, you get bullet points, and then why it matters. So let's then head over now to Midjourney to grab that image. And look at this, guys. Like, this is the AI warfare bot. I mean, like, this is phenomenal, right? So if you check this out, like, this is absolutely ridiculous. So I can copy that, for example. Let's copy that header back over. Okay, we come back over to our AI news. And then essentially what we would do is we just can pop that in there. And there you go. And essentially you'd have like, this is just all like automatic. I could say 95% done. And then you would just simply input this into email template, send it off, and you're completely ready to go. Obviously you can add a little flair that you want to, but that's the whole automation. Now I'll also say, before I jump in, I've got automations. I think you can pretty much automate every single step. In other words, it will also create the HTML, but that is going to be for the next video. So if you want to see that video, let me know down below and I'll show you how you cover that last 5%. But I didn't want this video like 2 hours. I want to show you the basics. You can get started, jump in, have some fun with it, and we click into the bits afterwards. So with that in mind, what tools do you need? Well, if you're new to the channel, all the automations we're building here are in Make.com. Make.com is a no-code automation tool. It basically just allows us to be like no-code developers, so to speak. So you need access to Make.com. Again, I'll put all the links down below for you. Once you've done that, you need access to RSS.app. RSS.app has lots of like free options, so you can come and have a look, and they have like a pay plan that isn't that expensive. Now, this could really be any trigger. If you watch other videos I have on the channel, you'll see that you could do it based on an idea. You could talk to GPT-4o as an idea, then that turns into a newsletter. Any trigger you want, literally anything you want, we can do. But for the purposes of this, I've just done newsletter, okay? So you need RSS. The next thing you need, and you've got Meg, obviously, then you get access to GPT. So that's platform.openai.com. And that's basically like the API version ChatGPT. You buy like $5 of credits for that. And if all this is sounding like quite complicated, I've got really specific trainings in my school community for this. I've also got a video show on screen where I build it live, all these other specifics, so you can see how to do that step by step. And I'll also cover it on this video, but if you want more support, I've got resources to help you with that. So we've got Make, we've got RSS, we've got GPT, we need access to Airtable. That's a completely free piece of software. I like to describe it as Excel on steroids. It looks like this. It's pretty easy to set up. Again, I'll show you exactly how you set everything up so you'll be flying by the end of this video. And then finally, Google Docs, or a place that you want to throw your output into. But obviously, if you want to use Midjourney, you can get access to Midjourney. In terms of cost, Midjourney Pro is like $11 or so. Make is free to use up to a certain amount. RSS is free to use for a certain amount. And obviously the API, you can just get started with $5. So with that in mind, we're now going to build this entire automation from scratch. Now, I've covered a little bit, but if it sounds overwhelming, don't worry, I've got your back. You'll know exactly how to set this up by the end of this video if you follow it step by step. And I'm sure you will. I think you're going to absolutely love this one. So let's jump in. So to start off, we need to do the formalities, which is naming it. The newsletter, 1 out of 2. So I said our trigger is going to be RSS, didn't I? So let's head over to rss.app and you'll see a page that looks a little something like this. Okay, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go back to the home page so you can see. You'll see a page like this, all right? Just create an account and sign in. So we sign in. Okay, then I want you to come down to the Explore tab on the left-hand side. Now, The cool thing about RSS, if you're not familiar, you can basically get feeds. It's basically pulling data from the internet for you to use for your purposes. So say, for example, a lot of people know this, but let's just say that I loved The Guardian, right? The Guardian is a newspaper in the UK. What a lot of people don't realize is you can actually do this by website. So for example, I've just come on here to The Guardian AI, all right? So look, I've got this web page. They are publishing topics. I can actually take the URL from that web page or multiple web pages if I want to, and I can enter it in. And then I can click search. And what it will do is basically every time an article, does this look familiar? It should do, because we just saw it a second ago, right? Look, this looks eerily familiar. It was the exact same thing. So every time The Guardian, in this case, the Guardian's newspaper, it will pull down the article and everything they've done. Now, you don't have to do it that way. You could also search by terms. So for example, I could just say artificial intelligence. And now essentially any article on artificial intelligence will appear. But if I've got favorite newspapers, I've got favorite things that I like to use, that I trust and I think is good, I can search for them and grab them. You can also do this by individuals' Twitters. There's like a million different things that you could do. But for the purposes of this, and just to make it simple, I'm just going to grab the Guardian's one and we can go from there. So we're going to click on save feed. And the other quick call out, by the way, is like filters. If I didn't want the word piece coming up and I type that in there and add it, you see how that just like grays out? That means that we'll get no articles with that. You can also do things like replace and remove. So it's like whenever the name The Guardian's brought up or AI's brought up, call it something else. I've got another video covering this in a bit more detail, but I just want to give you the whistle stop tour. Cool. Now, when you've created your feed, you'll see this XML. I just want you to copy it, okay? Then we go back over to our automation and we click this big shiny purple button here and we type in RSS, like so, built in. Now, you got watch and retrieve. Watch is basically every time a new article comes, fire, and retrieve is just bring back the last X amount that you've done. So for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna click on retrieve. You could just say like, hey, every 6 hours, bring me like 10 articles or something, whatever you want, right? And because we're approving it, we can have as many as we like and we can just sort of find that. We enter the URL. So look, I come back over to my RSS feed. I copy, I come to our article and I enter it. You don't worry about date from, date to for the moment. Maximum number of returned items. Let's just say that we want to, just for the sake of this. In fact, let's make it really easy and do one. And then we click one. Okay, cool. So then look, if I run this scenario once, bottom left, we should see the latest article. We click on this. It's given us a URL that it's pulled out. But what's the output? Look, we're the peace activists, my surreal, soul-sucking day at Palantir's first AI warfare conference. It's cool. You kind of get educated on what's happening in AI world whilst we're learning some incredible cutting-edge automations. Cool, and then it's given us a URL. So we found the article we want. The question is, dude, how do we actually find out what the article says? So we click on plus, we come over here, and we're gonna look for HTTP, get a file. Now, this module will just download, can you see here, right, we feed it the URL. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so you can see. As I hover over, where's URL here? You see that it's pulsing, it just means that it's related to that module. So I just click on URL, cool, right? Then I click OK. Now what this guy will do is every time I give it URL from RSS, it will just download the whole page for us, which is really cool. So look, I run this again. There you go, look, it's given us the output and it's got all the data there, sweet. But the problem is, guys, it's in pesky HTML. So what we need to do is get the HTML into the Queen's English. So we just come over here, we type in HTML to text. Awesome, click on this, and what we're looking for is the data. Cool. And then what that will do, guys, is basically take that into something that you and I could probably actually understand. Awesome. So then the question is that, well, what do we need to do next? Well, let's go back to the module that I built to find out. We're here, a one-liner assistant and an overview agent, right? So that's cool. So let's start off with our one-liner assistant, okay? Our one-liner agent. He's a cool guy. I want to run you through so you understand how to build these yourself so that like you can build all these amazing formations and we can all benefit. So I'm going to give you a quick whistle-stop tour of how these work. So basically what we're asking here is for a concise and engaging summary. There's like 50 characters maximum. Like you need to be able to explain it quickly, succinctly, and not be too, not too verbose about it. So you may see lots of information on that about a website, such as The Guardian, The Times, or another website. Disregard all information pertaining to the website. We are only interested in the article. And that's because there are certain things you can do, by the way, that starts with the text and ends with the text. But because we're pulling the website out, you're going to get loads of stuff like news, politics, all the other stuff. So we're just kind of is a really simple workaround, just educating the AI agent to be like, look, ignore this, focus on this. If we're really conscious about our token count and our pricing, we can build those extra measures in, but for the purposes of this will help us out. Then we give instructions. Analyze the data. Give me a summary that's 50 characters long. Ensure the summary is attention-grabbing, informative, use strong, active language, avoid filler words, blah, 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 50 characters out there. So then what we do is we copy the whole thing, and then we head over to platform.openai.com. We click on create in the top right. We give it a name. So we'll call this guy one-liner agent, and then just paste the instructions in. The model, you can use any model you want to, GPT-4 Turbo, 3.5, whatever you want based on your purposes. I always recommend starting with a high-level model and then working your way down. GPT-4o is rock solid at the moment. Basically, select the model that you want, and essentially that is entirely complete. So then look, I come back over now to here, and now I need to add the guy in. So I come in here, I'm gonna find message and assistant. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what an assistant is versus a prompt, so when I add ChatGPT, I can do two things. I can either create a completion, which in other words is, hey, just send this to ChatGPT, and I can put it in a prompt and I'll get an answer. An assistant is a pre-coded, predefined, think of it like an agent or an assistant, right? And the reason I like assistant is if I want to build up several automations, maybe I want to use this one-liner bot in another automation tomorrow. I don't have to keep rewriting the entire prompt. I can just slot them into 50 different things. And if I ever want to change anything, I just go back over and I improve it. So I just think if it's something you might use more than once, just use an assistant for it as well. You could obviously use Claude for this if you want to. I'm just using GPT to show you the process, and you can build out and pick and choose the models that you like as you go. Cool. So the message we want is what? The message is the output from the text parser, and then the assistant is the one-liner agent. So we select that, guys, we click OK, and then we're gonna give him a name. Let's call him here one-liner. And of course, he's gonna need a little bit of emoji, right? So let's give him number 1 as an emoji. Where is it? Okay, sweet. Awesome. And then we click OK. Sweet. Then the next thing we need to do is to summarize the agent, right? So what's that guy? Well, look, not this guy. It is overview agent. Cool. So the reason I like the overview agent, I built this before in automation. It helps you understand how to build scripts, but essentially this is like the TLDR of it a little bit. So it's like gives you a bit more information about it. So with this guy, look, we pre-process the article, we analyze the article, we write a summary, we give context and background from 70 to 80 words. We're going to give key developments and insights and repeat that as is needed. So basically, you'll have what it's about, what the insights and developments are, and we can repeat those two things based on how long the article is. And then we talk about the impact and the significance. We talk about formatting and presentation, we detail things about how we want it to look. And the reason that we do that, so if I come back over now to show you, for instance, the reason I've done that is we've got the option to read the article if we want to. So look, click on that. Let's grab it. Let's just say I want to come and have a look. I can read through. If I'm interested, I can read through it, right? Awesome. Or if I just want to get like, what's the context, what developments, I can read it all within the thing, and it just makes it a little bit easier. So that's why we include that. So if I come back over now to our automation, what we're going to do is let's just clone this guy, bring it over, call this one here, rename it, and we'll call this guy overview agent, overview. And what should we give him thing? Let's give him a little fire emoji. Awesome. And then all we do is we write the overview agent, if that's what you want to add. Where is he here? Again, same process, copy it all and do the exact same thing we did last time with the one-liner agent over there, okay? Exact same thing we do with this guy, do it with that guy. We copy it, go to platform.openai.com, enter it in, grab the bot, bring it back over. And I'll wait here for you while you do that, and then we can jump straight in. Cool. All right, so we've got this guy, and then we just select the agent that we just built. And once again, the input is the text that we got, and then we click okay, awesome. And so the next thing we now need to do, guys, is create an Airtable. So if I come back to digital automation, you'll see here, the last part is just create a record thing. So look, we come back over here, we click on plus, and we click on Airtable. Now, you can send this over if you want to Google Sheets. I always recommend Airtable for beginners. I just think it's way more robust and just a lot easier to use. So click on Airtable and click on create a record. Again, if this is something that you're struggling with, I have got like guides on how to set all these things up in my school community. But the TLDR of it is that when you create an account in Airtable, you just open a new base. It's like really like it's a step-by-step thing to do. And essentially all you do is it'll ask you to sign in, you open a new page, you give it the access levels that you want, and then the things will be connected together. So I've not gone into too much detail about how you do all the connections, but if you follow the process, it'll be simple, and there's more support down below if you'd like some help doing that. Cool, so then once we've done that, right, I've got this base here. So I'm just, for the sake of this, just gonna delete all of these so we can start from a blank slate, so to speak. So we're gonna name this one, I've called this one here AI Automation Newsletter. Okay, I come back over here. I've selected create a record. I click on the record. It loads up. I click on the base. And then you just select the thing that you named it, which is AI Automation Newsletter. It lets me pick the table. So I created 2 tables. One's for a future automation, not in this video, and one is. So this one, it's just creating newsletters. Cool. So I come back over. You can see creating newsletter, news review. So we need the news review. Awesome, perfect. And then you're going to see this, right? You're going to see URL, one-liner, summary, and status. So look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete I'm going to show you how you build these. Okay, so you're going to right-click, you're going to edit field, you're going to type in URL, and then you're going to type in here URL. That's number 1, and then we click OK. Then we click on the second guy, and if it's not there, you can right-click, insert right. If there's no field there, or you need to create a new field, we edit field. We type in one-liner up here, and we type in long text, and let's enable rich formatting, and then click save. And then we come over, repeat the process again, we click on summary. You won't see summary, you'll see some bare fields, but this is how you do it. You then summary, long text, enable rich formatting, click save. And then you got status. So for this one, you're gonna right click, edit field or insert fields. For example, I'll create a new one for the sake of this. Look, I come over here, I type in status. I come down, I type in status. I come down, I type in single select, and basically I add my options. So the options I want to add is, let's just say like approval, and let's change the color to this guy, and then deny, like this, and change his color to red. And then we say create field, status on, okay, cool. So basically what that means is that like I can click on this and I can say, great, do I approve, do I deny? And then that will know if the things happened or not, okay? So that's how you build up the status format. And the one that I've used add to newsletter or no, thank you. Hey there guys, Jack from the future here. At this point in the automation, it got so hot, my camera decided to shut down. So for the rest of the video, it's gonna be an audio tour with some screen sharing. I didn't want to delay the video getting out so you can get jumped in. I'll see you in person in the next one. Right, let's jump straight back in. So get rid of this guy. And then there's 2 fields you need to add at the end, which is created time and last modified time. And that just helps us understand the create time, we need to know when a field was created, and last modified is, it'll say, hey, if you've got like 100 fields in this sheet, like, and let's just say we approve 77 and 65, this will say, hey, look, 77 and 65 have just been approved, and that will tell our next automation where it needs to look in this table. So to do that, we add a new field. All we click for is created time, and select created time, and then call it created time at the top, like this. Sweet, right? Perfect. And then you're gonna add a new field. I'm deleting it as I go because I already pre-built these, but for you, I'm just showing you how you do the process. So again, we're gonna last modified time. Click on the field. Last modified time will be there. We click on it and then put on create field. Awesome. And then whenever we edit a field, that will update with the latest time. And then we click delete. And now we've created our table. And that's all you ever need to do now in this entire Airtable. That's the only thing you're ever going to need to do. So we've created that, right? We come back over, and what you'll notice is you may need to refresh this if you've changed like the tables and stuff, and it'll bring through the new headings for you. And the really cool thing about Airtable, guys, is it'll show you every column. Look, URL, one-liner, summary, status. URL, one-liner, summary, status. Cool, that's what I like to see. So the URL, what do we want? Well, let's grab the URL from the article here. And that's just in case I want to read it. Maybe I want to read it, maybe I want to have a look. And then we've got one-liner. So we come over to one-liner and we click result. And then we want the summary. So come over to overview and I click result. And then status, we don't need to worry about that until the next part of the automation. And then we click OK. And then we're going to click this auto align button down here to make it nice and pretty. And then guys, we're going to run through the entire automation. So let's run it once. What's going to happen? RSS is going to find our article. We've grabbed the file. Text parsers turned it from that gobbledygook HTML into the Queen's English, which we'd love to see. One-liner agents made the one-liner explainer. The overview agent is now creating a cool, beautiful overview for us to read and enjoy. And when that's done, it will go to Airtable. And by the way, if it looks like I've got a black eye, it's because I caught a straight elbow in jiu-jitsu the other day. Like, I literally woke up 2 days later, like nothing going on. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, my eye's like black. It was like so rarely ever happens. So I was like, just in case you're wondering, I'm not like walking into doors or something. So I just want to set the record straight on that for the conspiratorially minded viewers out there. Awesome. So that's created, guys. We come out over here and we should see it, right? Perfect. I mean, that's awesome, right? It's literally just all come in automatically. Palantir's AI conference ignites controversy. There's our summary. There's the article. If we want to go and check it out. Impact and significance, impact and significance. Awesome. And guys, you just completed the first part of the automation. I mean, think about what you've done, right? You've got literally news the second it drops. You've grabbed it automatically. You've ran it through this cool stuff and you've just got an approval table. And all you ever really need to do for this part of the automation is just say, yeah, sounds all right, or no, I'm okay. And that's it. We're going to open up a new automation. And of course, we're going to need to name it, right? So let's come back here to get the base. Cool. And we're going to name this one newsletter 2 out of 2. So what we need to do here, guys, is we need something to watch the table that says, look, I want you to watch this Airtable and tell me the second that this status is approved. I don't care about, if it could be 100 articles in here, we don't care. In fact, I'm going to run a few articles here just to populate out. Let's just show some love. Let's just get 5 coming out there now. Boom, let's just run this, get 5 coming out there. But I could have 100 in there. But maybe for my newsletter, I just want to cherry pick the best 4 every day. And this is why I built it this way, because I absolutely want it to be the best quality possible. And I genuinely believe to do that, we need some selectivity, because we can use AI about what's good and viral, but maybe you want a little bit of control. And you can do this automate if you want to, but I built this one to give you a little bit of control, okay? So we may have loads of them, but we only want the ones that we approve if we're doing it in this way. So how do we do that? Well, we start with, you might have guessed, Airtable, okay? Because that's how we ended the last automation. And all I wanted to do is watch records. Amazing. Now look at this. It comes over here to the left. We select the base, which is the AI automation newsletter. We come to table. We're going to click on news review. Is that what we called it over here? It is, right, news review. And look at this, guys. Already like bam, bam, bam. Let's throw any other ones in there. That's what I like to see. We click on news review and then we click on trigger field. So click on trigger field and what we want, last modified time. So in other words, we've got 1 billion in here. I'm only interested in the one that was modified last. If I modify 5 last will pop up. That's cool. Then the label field, just looking for status. And then we click okay, awesome. And then we've got to build out now all these really cool modules. And by the way, one of the things I love about the way that the Rundown AI have done it is it gives you like small data, more data, and it's really digestible. But of course, this is just an example. Build it however you like. So what do we need first? We need a bullet point assistant. Okay, cool. Well, how do we build that? Well, you remember from last time, we're going to click on message and assistant. Okay, cool. We're here. So what is the bullet point guy about, right? Well, let's go find out, shall we? We've got the overview agent here. We've been through him. We need the bullet point agent. So what does this guy do? Well, look, he is a helpful bullet point creation agent, an expert in taking an article summary and extracting 4 key salient points. He speaks in full sentences and makes points. The reason why he makes points is in there. If you knew the building process for this, you would chuckle. So I would like you to create 4 bullet points. Excuse me, wow, typo now. Oh my goodness, man. How much better is it going to be now? I'd like you to create 4 bullet points with no additional text. You'll receive a summary. Create 4 bullet points, maximum of 17 words per bullet point. And look at this, guys. I give it examples like this is good. Here's another example. Here's another example. And here's an example of the kind of input that you would receive. We copy all of that. We add it to, again, platform.openai.com. We create a new bot. And then once we do that, we'll be able to find that assistant over here. And it's the exact same process we used in the first part of it. Now you might be wondering, how do we get the message there? So let me start by adding in the assistant. So if I did the overview agent in, okay, but where's the message, right? Well, the message is just going to be the summary. And look, it already knows what it is. So it'll pull through the summary for us. So I click on summary. That's ace. And then we click OK. And we're going to rename this one, right? So we call this guy. What did I call the last guy? What did I call him? I called him bullet point. So let me just copy that because, you know what? It saves us like a couple seconds. So it's absolutely worth it. All right, cool. So we had him in there, bullet point guy. Love it. I will say Bracket Guy got a lot of hate last week, and I'm not happy about it, man. Bracket Guy was unfairly, targeted. So I'm hoping Bullet Point Guy will not be as harassed in the comment section as Bracket Guy was. Now this guy, what do we want next? Well, we've got our 4 bullet points. So this guy's going to create our 4 bullet points. The next thing that's going to happen is a key takeaway, which is like the TLDR of the whole situation, right? So we need to understand what the TLDR is. And just pulling this up for reference, we've got the title, there's an image, there's the bullet points, and there's a TLDR. Now the TLDR is what these guys refer to as the rundown, which is if you're just in a rush, like just give it me in 2 sentences, is essentially what we're saying. So we need to build the TLDR agent, right? So there's our bullet point, there's our key takeaway agent here. Awesome, okay. Helpful analytical expert will explain the significance, impact of the data. He'll use a maximum of 50 words. He'll receive lots of bullet points. Do not write anything else, any articles. And we give it an example here. Okay, so look why this matters. Example 2, example 3. Cool. Copy all of this. We head over to platform.openai.com and then we create the key takeaway agent. And then we come back over here and then we select him. Cool. And then we've selected the key takeaway agent and then we click OK. So we've got the bullet points, we've got the key takeaways. Now we need to add in the different data points, right? So for the key takeaway, we click on this guy. We've got the summary, but we also want the output from the bullet points. Awesome. Then we click OK, sweet. Now what's the next one we need to add in? Come over here. Let's take a look. The TLDR bot. We love this guy. This guy's great. So what do? We come back over. We duplicate, we clone him, we bring him over here. We're going to rename TL. Goodness me. Oh my goodness. TLDR. If I can spell TLDR properly, of course, which apparently I am unable to do. And I think shrugs emoji is good for this, right? Let's give it a little shrug. Awesome. So what is it with the TLDR bot then? TLDR bot, basically 30 words maximum, doesn't write anything, just gives us the bottom line of what it is. And again, we've given examples so that we can actually just, for the users just want to peruse, they can just grab that, go, and then they're ready to rock and roll. Awesome. So then we do the same thing. We basically copy all that text or write your own TLDR, and then we just add it to the agent, and then we just import the agent at platform.openai.com. And we select the TLDR bot. Cool. And then we click OK. Sweet. And this guy's lost his emoji. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? There you go. That's better. All right, cool. So we've got the bullet points, we've got the key takeaway, we've got the TLDR. And again, because we duplicated it, we just got the same inputs as exactly before. So I come back over now to see what we do. And you can see there's exactly the same we had as last time. Now we need a title bot. So the title bot itself essentially is going to summarize it in a sentence. So for example, if I come over here, what the title bot does is he creates this at the top, an emoji and just a couple of sentences explaining what it does. So look, the title bot is a really simple but quite powerful agent. So you're a helpful title bot that summarizes the essence of a text you're given in 8 words or yes. You'll receive a summary of the article and key bullet points, use a maximum of 8 words, don't write anything else or explain us, just give us the output. And what I found really well, guys, what prompting tip for you is give it good examples, give it bad examples. Sometimes if you only give it good examples, it won't quite fully capture the essence of what you want. So you see how here I've given it like Nvidia share prices skyrocket, Elon Musk purchased Twitter, and there's emoji at every end. I've then taken like the classic like AI mistakes, which is emoji at the beginning, and I don't know why it does that. We need to shake it out of them, but I've included this anyway. Elon Musk purchased Twitter, $8 billion deal. Multiple emojis, we don't want that, and no emojis. So beginning, multiple, and no. We copy all of this. We do the exact same thing, platform.openai.com, we create it. And then we come back over, and then we need to create the line bot, right? So what do we call the last one? We call this guy title bot. So let me rename it. Let's grab title bot, come back over here, click in here, click OK. Cool. And then basically that's that part done. So if I come back over and do a little health check on title bot, what did we give it as an input? It's the exact same thing. We're giving it the summary plus that key detail there, and we're sorted. So we come back over now to our automation, which is awesome. The next thing we want to do is the mid-journey bot. So again, let's come here, let's clone it. Let's come over here, let's remove this little gray thing. Awesome. And then we're going to call this one mid-journey bot. So let's rename it. There you go. Awesome. Cool. Perfect. Now, the mid-journey bot, let's go check this out because this one's really fascinating. So look, you're going to receive text or data about a topic or post. I want you to analyze the text, identify the elements for subject, action, setting, additional details. Use the information extracted from the text to fill in the following prompt template. Now, if you've ever used Midjourney, you know it's so temperamental. You put one comment, one hash out of place, and boy, you're in for a world of pain, I tell you. So this formula I found just works treat. It's just so good. So subject, action, setting, additional details. The image must be natural, realistic in 2018, styles raw, 8K, taken on an iPhone. I like that because kind of boom, it's there. But guys, maybe you don't want an iPhone. Maybe you want it to be taken on an Android phone, or maybe you want it to be in 2020. I don't know. You can like change this. You can change aspect ratios however you want. I've got a full guide on all the different aspect ratios. I think actually I have that in the group that I built that quite recently. So if I come through to Classroom, I just want to check this because I built out quite a few different ideas for that. So if I look at my Midjourney prompt blueprint here, the aspect ratios, yeah, you see we've got all the key ones that we need here. For example, it's got a really good guide on all the different, so basically, take a screenshot of this, or if you're in community, you can just grab it, but essentially it's got all the ratios that we need. I think the ones that we've got work really well. That's why I'm using the 16:9 in this particular case. So cool, we come back over now to our bot. The subject should be the main focus of the image, like a person, object, creature, or concept. Be really specific. The action, describe what they're doing, use descriptive verbs. The setting should paint a vivid picture of a location, the background, the environment, and then additional details. And obviously at the end, believe me, like if you knew how many times, you have to specify this, always end with the exact phrase, blah, blah, blah. And that just means that every image you ever create with Midjourney is going to be consistent. If you're doing a newsletter, consistency is key. And one of the things I've not touched on in this video, guys, is how monetizable newsletters are. They're like literally insane. So I'm hoping that you can take all this stuff for free and just run with it and make lots of money, and just tell me down below how many dollar signs you made from this cool automation. Ensure the final prompt is well formatted, includes all the necessary components. Avoid incomplete or poorly structured prompts. Output the complete Midjourney prompt ready for use. I give it an example input text, and I've given it an example output text. You might guess what we do next. We copy all of it. We head over to platform.openai.com, we insert it, we create the agent, and then we come back over to our automation, and then we just select the one that we need. And then on this one, guys, I just want you to click here, and I just want you to select the result just to keep the input slightly less for the Midjourney bot. And of course, we need to select the Midjourney one, right? So we come here, we've selected him, then we click OK. And guys, this is looking almost complete. So the only thing we need to do now is just add it to our articles. This guy, cool. So this one I've called AI's new. I mean, just the images, guys. The image quality is just phenomenal on this. So I'm looking for AI newsletter. So what do? We come back over. We come here, click on this, put on Google Docs, and then I'm going to put insert a paragraph into a document. Okay. We select the document ID. So the order you want to go in for, guys, for the Google Doc is we start off with number 5, which is basically the title bar that we got here. Then we want the Midjourney prompt here, which is perfect. So we do those guys out the way. After that, we want the TLDR, which is like explain to me really briefly if I don't have the time. So we close this guy down. Once we've done that, we've got 2 left. We want to go for the bullet points. So explain it in 4 bullet points for me. And then finally, the key takeaway at the end. Then we click OK. Now finally, just set up this one filter and you're ready to go. You come over, you right click, you click on setup filter. We call this one approval. The condition is that status contains, let's come down and have a look. Contains case insensitive, or what did I call it over here? Let's have a look. What's my status? Add to newsletter. Cool. So I come back over, right? Add to newsletter. And then we click OK. So check this out, right? If I click run once, nothing will come through because I haven't approved anything, you see? It's pulled up everything, but nothing's come through. I haven't approved it. So let's run this automation again, right from the top. I'm going to click here and put maximum entry is 1. I click OK. I click run once. The RSS feed item's grabbed it. HTTP's done its job. Text parser. Then we're going to create our one-liner. We're going to get the overview, and then it's going to be added over here to our automation newsletter. So we've got 6 things already. This works properly. We'll see a number 7 appear very shortly. The overview's been created, which is awesome. Wait in the background, well, it quietly does its work. And the thing about newsletters, like you can automate it, but you really want like the best quality possible. And I think this really hits, in my opinion, a toolkit that you can just take. You can apply it to any niche you're doing. You can customize the inputs. You can customize different bits and pieces, the images, and really I feel 1,000 people could watch this video and create 1,000 different things. That's what's really exciting to me. And that's why I really love sharing this stuff with you guys. Look, and we should see number 7 pop up any moment now. And there we go. Look, there you go. It's pulled it up. Perfect. We love it. Let's say we look at it and we think, do you know what? I like it. Add that to a newsletter, please. I come here, I click run once. It's picked up on it. it's picked up on the fact it was an approval. The bullet point guy's making his 4 bullet points. He's working his bullet point guy. He takes his time, but his quality is excellent, and we really appreciate him for it, which is awesome. We've got the key takeaways. We need to know exactly what's going on, what the bottom line is, and everything else. In the next automation, if you want to see that, what we're going to try and look at doing is add all this to the HTML. We're going to hard code it into the HTML. So literally, there's a million ways that we can do this. TLDR bot's complete. Titlebot's working his magic in the background. The Midjourney bot's creating a really cool prompt for us. And once that's done, guys, that will go straight into our Google document that we signed up and connected. And now it's done, it's complete. So let's find our Google Doc. When it lands in, guys, the formatting's not great, but you can change that pretty quickly. And there's some stuff that we can do there, but just to get you up and running, you can see. So I brought this over. I just realized I added like the wrong button. So I didn't use the title bar because I cloned it. So that's a really good one to watch out for. We've got this, we've got the TLDR. We've got the text here, so all we would do, guys, is copy that. We'd come over to Midjourney, and then you can grab an images from Midjourney if you want. So just come here, let's copy that. Let's go back over now, enter that in, and it's just a couple of seconds dialogue, and you've got all this stuff ready for your newsletter. So guys, I hope you found that interesting. It's been a pleasure chilling out with you on my YouTube video, drinking the coffee. In any case, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video.